Judge Emmett Sullivan's appointed amicus, John Gleeson, telling the Justice Department's motion to dismiss the case of General Michael Flynn should be denied. Gleeson calling the DOJ's motion to dismiss both politically motivated. Well, they should know. Joining us tonight, Tom Fitton, the president of Judicial Watch. His new book is A Republic Under Assault, The Left's Ongoing Attack on American Freedom. Available for pre-order. We recommend it to you highly. And Tom, good to see you. And
hey.
Let's start with what you have discovered through your efforts and Judicial Watch's efforts. And that is records that show that Mueller and his team destroyed, wiped out the files on phones, what was it, 20 some odd phones. This is outrageous. This sounds like Hillary Clinton all over again. We're just missing the the bleach bit?
Yeah, it was accidental, of course, Lou. All that was happening accidentally. One phone wiped itself out, so that's just complete magic. Look, if the FBI went into a corporation and the entire leadership of the corporation, among them, wiped out, clean the phones of 30 plus phones, what would the FBI do? We already know what they do because Mueller's team told us. They said they raided Manafort's home that morning. Remember that guns drawn raid? It was because they were worried he was destroying evidence. So we have the IG, the DOJ, find out quite apparently that all this evidence is magically disappearing from these phones based on the what I call a pandemic of phones being wiped, and they do nothing about it. And this would never have come out but for our lawsuit. And we just found out earlier in another release that Mueller was in the running for the FBI position. Rosenstein wrote an email saying he's taking himself out of consideration, which means he was under consideration, and he knew it, which raises questions about perjury to Congress. So there's, between what happened with Mueller's testimony and the destruction and potential of evidence and the potential obstruction of justice, there needs to be a criminal investigation of the Mueller team. And the fact that it evidently hasn't been done yet speaks volumes about the way the DOJ is being run when it comes to their own internal corruption.
Well, their internal corruption is well documented, thanks in large measure to you at Judicial Watch. But across the spectrum of terrific reporting and political watchdogs like you, I guess we'll have to leave it with like you, there is Judicial Watch and none other, really. The case is sitting in their laps. This is outrageous. You mentioned what would happen if the Justice Department, if a corporation did it. Imagine what would happen if you did it to the IRS. Would they sit there and just sort of suck on their thumb and say, oh, did really 27 phones were just wiped out? This is outrageous what we're putting up with in this country. It's political corruption at the highest levels, at the the middle levels. My God, it's unthinkable that again we'll see these people get away with this horrible, horrible crime against this government, this president, and this nation.
Well, if I were the president, I'd appoint a separate special counsel to investigate the Justice Department's misconduct here and the FBI's misconduct. The Justice Department has proven it can't do it itself. I mean, we have this resignation allegedly from the Durham team because there was an anti-Trump prosecutor who didn't like, quote, the pressure they were under. It tells you two things, Lou. It's either that it explains why Durham hasn't done anything because people like that were working for him, or B, who knows, maybe he'll do something and this person was trying to undermine it. But either way, we've waited much too long and faced inordinate hurdles from the Justice Department to get the truth out. For instance, all these text messages have been deleted. They haven't given us any text messages. We just beat them back in court over a text message fight about Andrew McCabe. They said they would start giving us text messages. That's 3 months ago. It's 3 months. They're looking at a few hundred pages of text messages, and they still can't turn them over to us. It's really inexcusable the lack of accountability. It's one thing to say a criminal investigation needs to kind of take as long as it needs, but documents, just release them.
Yeah, and why is this Attorney General, William Barr, not making certain that it's happening on a timely basis? The Justice Department has been demonstrated throughout the Obama years and the political corruption that ensued almost across the entire federal government, that the Justice Department is where truth best goes to die. It hasn't changed, my God. A year and a half for an investigation? That's absurd. You can destroy, you can create, manufacture evidence. Why in the hell would anybody think that that was an appropriate time for an investigation? Is it too complex for the witless amongst the politically corrupt? I don't think so. This is pure corruption.
That's right, and this came even after it was reported, or around the same time it was reported, that the Strzok Page text had been erased by the special counsel's office. And so they had this wider spread problem that no one was being told about, and we only found out because we sued. And you know, this Justice Department, in terms of the difference between the Obama administration and this administration, there really hasn't been much difference in terms of the transparency. I mean, we just had a filing in court the other day. Today's the anniversary of 9/11, not only the terrorist attack in New York and here in D.C., but also in Benghazi. They told the court, shut it all down. We don't want any more discovery in the Clinton emails, no more questions about Benghazi and what happened there. And that's this Justice Department and this State Department. They're betraying, in my view, those Americans who thought there'd be accountability over those issues with this new administration, and the president's being terribly undermined here because I suspect he'd be outraged. But you know, they probably tell the president, oh, you can't get involved in any of this. My view is he should order a transparency revolution right now, a transparency emergency, release everything. Who knows what else is out there?
Yeah. I would say it this way, Tom, that if this Attorney General and this Justice Department does not produce indictments against the politically corrupt criminals of the Justice Department and the FBI, then the president has, it seems to me, no other choice than to declassify all of the documents, and I mean dump them into the public arena well a month before that election, so the American people can vote with sure knowledge of what the facts are and who the malefactors are. Tom Fitton, one of the great guys. Appreciate you being with us.